Hey, everybody. Welcome on into the IIHF live show. I'm Mike Johnson, your host for the next half-hour show as we get you ready for a puck drop between Sweden and Czechia, what should be an incredible atmosphere here at Avicii Arena in Stockholm. Two world powers going head-to-head in a quarterfinal matchup, probably earlier than they wanted. One team going home, one team going on to compete for a medal. And if it sounds familiar, it's because it is. It was just last year that Czechia in Prague knocked out Sweden in the semifinals. Sweden had been perfect up to that point in the tournament, knocked them out. Czechia going on to win gold on home ice. Sweden wants to do to Czechia what Czechia did to Sweden last year on home ice, take advantage of the fans, the atmosphere, and go play for a medal this weekend after a quarterfinal victory. Should be an incredible game coming up. All right, here to help me break it all down, Reagan Rust. You check out her bio. She's done a little bit of everything. College hockey, professional hockey, social media influencer, media personality. Let's see what she can do. All right, Reagan, thanks for joining me. Pretty accomplished stuff now. BU captain, I saw. BU coach as well. That's Boston University in America. You play professionally both in Sweden and in North America, and now you're also doing some media work for IIHF. What's been your favorite part about being here?
Oh, the atmosphere has been so good. We've had so many sold-out games already. The players have been incredible to work with, ask questions to, and just getting to see live hockey has been so fun.
You're down between the benches, the best place in the entire building. What's it like, the speed and the energy and the intensity of these games?
It's a bit nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie. I try to only go down there with like the last few minutes when it's a close game, but you can see the intensity in their eyes. Like all they want to do is win, obviously. But now we're getting into those close games, so it's getting even more exciting. All
right, huge matchup in the quarterfinals. Sweden, Czechia. The news of the day, and it's big news for Sweden. They didn't fill out their roster. They kept a couple places available because they wanted, just in case some guys got knocked out of NHL playoffs, they might come. And it looks like help is on the way for the quarterfinals. William Nylander, second leading goal scorer in the NHL this year, the Toronto Maple Leafs, on his way to join the team for the quarterfinals. What kind of impact do you think he can make?
I mean, he's a point-per-game guy with Sweden. He was here in 2022. I think the first game that he showed up, he got a snipe from the top of the circles. So it's going to be really interesting to see him come back and be able to help out Sweden.
What do you think it says about these athletes that they finish a season, are so disappointed about losing in the playoffs, but are so willing to come quickly, whether it's William Karlsson, Rasmus Sandin, whoever it might be, Marty Necas, and come and play for their countries right away?
I mean, it's so important for these guys. Like, they love playing for their country. And it's funny because obviously Nylander was born in Canada, but he's come back and forth between Sweden and Canada his entire life. So these are his roots more and more. But for these guys here, Czechia, Europe, it's huge for them to be able to come back and play for their country.
All right, so let's dig in this game a little bit. We have William Nylander now has to be added to the Swedish lineup. For Sweden, they rolled through the round-robin affair until the last game against Canada where they lost. It was a wild atmosphere, a lot of penalties. What, if anything, did you take out of their one loss against Canada, and how could that maybe help them against Czechia?
Yeah, I think they just have to come out a little bit more composed. They were a bit nervous to play Canada. I think they were trying to live up to the big shoes that their quote-unquote big brother, little brother rivalry against Finland. So I think now coming into this, they just need to settle in, be a little bit more composed with the puck, be able to get into their systems right away and not be so shaky.
Composure is a big thing because you've been in this room the atmosphere almost makes you feel a little chaotic. It's so loud. There's so much energy. Both Czechia and Sweden will have to be on point and not running out of systems, taking penalties, which can be a real problem. So composure will be something that a coach like you would be dealing with for sure. Now, Czechia likes to play a more physical game. They want to hit, they want to forecheck, they want to stir it up a little bit. Sweden, you mentioned, very technically precise. How do you think Czechia can get that physical game going against Sweden?
I've actually seen Sweden be pretty physical this tournament.
I'm not saying they're not physical. I'm just saying their personality may not be so drawn that way.
Yeah, I know, like, they're going to come out pretty hard, but I think the biggest thing for them, like, they're pretty good on the PK. They're pretty good on the power play. So anytime they get those opportunities, they're going to take them. They scored yesterday on a PK against Canada. So they're not sitting back on their heels whatsoever. I think they're going to take it to them from the very jump. But it's just about getting nitty-gritty. You got to get into the scoring square. Like, that's where they've scored most of their goals so far. I think probably like 85-90% of their goals have come from right inside the dots. So.
All right. Any big game, we start with the goaltenders. So let's start with Sweden. Jacob Markstrom, very likely to get the start. He's been good the whole time. Seemed a little bit rattled by Canada and their presence around the net. How confident are you in his being able to rise to the occasion of this quarterfinal game?
I'm very confident. I mean,
we should be. We should be.
Yeah, they're playing on home ice. They want to win this tournament more than anybody else, and I think it's going to be a big matchup for them. But I think for him, he just has to get dialed in from the get-go. He has this crazy routine that I watch every single game before they get going, and he's always staring down the other team. So I think he's going to be doing the same thing to their goalies, same thing to their players. But he's an intense guy. So.
All right, and on the other side, both Dan Vladar and Karol Vejmelka have basically split the starts for Czechia, although Vejmelka did play in the most important game, which they lost to the Americans. Very similar story for Czechia. They started the round-robin play really well, beating Switzerland in overtime. Very tough, very good first game, rolled through the rest of their teams. They come to the final game. If they win it, they get first, and they avoid a Sweden-type team in the first-round matchup. They're not able to win it. What do you think that does to their confidence maybe heading into this very difficult matchup?
I think they're confident.
Yeah.
I mean, last year
they've been there, right?
Yeah. They're not too worried about playing in these big games. This is where they want to be. This is where they've been trying to get this whole tournament. So I think they're going to take the opportunity. They're going to go off the fans. They're going to use the energy in the building. And obviously their top line's been crushing it. So can't say too much about that.
You mentioned their top line. It's a great place to start. Roman Chervenka, you think approaching 40 years old, he might be here largely as a ceremonial basis, maybe just as a leader, symbol. No. He's one of the best players once again. Him and David Pastrnak have incredible chemistry on that top line. Why, beyond them being both great players, why does it work so well between the two of them?
I mean, just the way that they play, they've been saying it over and over again how Pasta plays. They never know what he's going to do, but he always finds the right people at the right time, and he can find them back door, he can find them below the net, he can find them entering into the zone. Pasta can shoot, he can dangle, he can do it all. He will throw a big hit as well. Yeah,
Pastrnak is definitely the leader, and one of the challenges for Sweden would try to shut that top line down of David Pastrnak, Lukas Sedlak, and Roman Chervenka. One of the guys tasked with doing that might be Mikael Backlund. Let's learn a little bit more about him here.
Welcome back to Stockholm. It's day one of the 2025 World Hockey Championship. A packed Avicii Arena. Now the host team takes center stage.
It's always hard the first game of the tournament. There was so much excitement and playing at home. Thought we handled it really well.
Looks it free for Hanneman. Sends it back in front. Backlund scores! Mikael Backlund opens the scoring for Sweden.
I feel like this group has been a calm group. Weather's been a little crazy, or find a way to weather the storm.
Point gets us on a hard shot. Rebound score! Carlson! And the Swedes have grabbed a 1-0 lead.
You know, when you're young, at times one of those big games, you get too excited, and then you just couldn't play and just lose all your energy. So much energy at first, and then just lose it all because you get exhausted. And found a way over my career to learn how to adjust to that and how to manage my excitement and energy levels. Also, I feel like I can be a calm presence in the room and on the ice and help the team. These first two games, there's been some stressful moments, and I feel like I can bring that calmness and composure to help the team, and going out there every shift and giving my all and doing my best and showing everyone how to play the right way, and that's something I think a lot of pride in.
Mikael Backlund lines that back to Gustafsson, centers it, score!
Yeah, I think we have a lot of good players on our team. Starting in net, we have 3 really good goalies, but especially Markey, who has been around and it's a world-class goalie, and that gives you a lot of confidence to have. And I think we have a really solid D, and up front we have a lot of skill and speed, and we've handled playing at home really good so far, and I think that will be a big key for us down the stretch here. And yeah, I think it's time to win at home ice.
In comes Lucas Raymond. Back across. Rodina chance scores! And Sweden leads 2-0.
In a game that will require maturity, composure, leadership, Mikael Backlund will offer all those. I've been watching him play for years in the NHL as well as internationally. I think this past 2 weeks, he is skating and moving about as well as I've seen him in the last 18 months. He took 1 game off of the round robin, I think, just to rest and get his body right, because he's going to play a really big role in this game.
Oh, 100%. He is probably one of the best players that I've seen here as well. Normally, whenever I think about Sweden, I think that they sit back on their heels a little bit more. They're a little bit more nervous to come out and play against some of these bigger guys, but they have a stacked lineup this year. So I can only imagine how they're going to be feeling coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, Lindholm and Backlund have been a great partnership playing together. Lindholm, one of the leading scorers in the tournament, certainly leading scorer on Sweden right now, and really working well together. And you think one of the part of their jobs in this game will not just be to score goals, but maybe more importantly, to try to shut down that first line of Czechia. We talked a lot about it because it's that important. Do you think Backlund and maybe what defenders Sweden might look to try to control that first line for Czechia?
Yeah, maybe Adam Larsson.
Yes.
I'm so scared of him.
He is a scary player to play against. NHL players, we scary.
Yes.
Like, that guy's intense. That guy is physical. But him and Brodin, lefty, righty, 2 of the very best shutdown defenders in the NHL, will be probably tasked, if they can, with that matchup whenever they can get it. Do you think, what do they need to do to try to be successful against them?
I think really not letting the play come to them. They got to step up. I think a lot of it, I've been seeing it quite a bit too throughout the games where they'll be surfing across the neutral zone, like starting to push them to the boards before they even get over the red. So forcing them to have that dump before they even get there. But
Easier said than done.
Easier said than done, because these kids, they're fast. And they're not kids whatsoever.
Getting Pasternak to do anything before he's ready is very difficult to do, for sure. And the other part about it, and we talk about all the time in the dressing room, the best place to play against good players is in their end. So if you can get the puck, get in the offensive zone, Sweden does like to play that possession game. If you can possess it while they're on the ice, then they're not scoring when they're in their own end defending. That'll be also a challenge for what to do.
I also don't think it's that big a deal to be in your own D zone. Like, that's the game of hockey, is being able to control the game the way that you want it to go. And when they're in their D zone, I think they've only let up, 7 goals so far. So they're pretty good defensively. So I don't think they have to get running around whatsoever.
Confidence will be key. And confidence you have to have if you plan on playing between 2 wingers like Cervenka and Pasternak. The pressure on that centerman is immense. Lucas Sedlak certainly living up to it in this tournament.
We have such a good group in Czech locker room. Everybody's funny, so we have lots of laughs and trying to hang out together, and it's been great so far. Hopefully we're gonna continue like last year and doing well in the quarterfinals, because that's the most important game in the tournament. It doesn't matter how you do in the group stage, but if you win the quarterfinals, you go to play for medals, and that's what we are here for.
I think we agree if I say it's not bad as a center to have 2 wingers like you do, no?
Yeah, it's pretty good, but obviously I've been playing with Roman Cervenka now for the whole season in Czech League, so we got to know each other and we understand well on the ice each other. But it was a little bit different with Pasternak, so we're still getting used to each other, I think. I'm trying to understand how he thinks on the ice and where he's gonna be, so I can give him the puck. When he has the puck, nobody knows what he's gonna do. Sometimes I'm even surprised what he's doing. I just give him the puck and go somewhere far so he can do his stuff. Obviously, I try to help him on the forecheck, back check, stuff like that. And I think that's my role in the line. Just help those guys so we can create offense.
You love a guy who knows his role. And Lucas Sedlak just said it. He's there to support. He's there to forecheck, backcheck, do all the little things that let his talented wingers do the rest. And the fact that he plays with Cervenka all year long certainly helps. Most people wouldn't know he's maybe good enough to play on that kind of line, but he's showing it in this tournament.
Yeah, and you need those people to be able to sit back a little bit too.
Yes, not everyone can be the offensive dynamo, right? There has to be a little give and take.
100%. And those are the people that go unnoticed that you might not think, oh, like they're not a good player. But when you put him with those good people, the reason why those people are good is because they have somebody like him.
And as a coach's mindset, which you have, you appreciate the detail work that maybe some of these players can do. But it's not just a one-line team in Czechia. They do have another line that plays really well, scores a lot of goals. Marty Necas, who comes over after his defeat in Colorado in the playoffs. Been a tumultuous year for him, given that he was traded for Mikko Rantanen. Had a great run in Colorado, losing the playoffs, but so important that it can't just be one line. Jakob Fleck has put up a lot of goals in that second line. How important is it maybe to have depth scoring when you go into a game as tough as this one?
I mean, I think it's important to have depth overall. Being able to have two lines that can at least shut the other lines down, you want to come out even every single game if you're that third, fourth line. But that second line, being able to help them score, be able to produce, and be able to not have all that pressure on that first line really helps ease the mind a bit.
Now, it's great to have options. And in Czechia, net has options. Karel Vejmelka has played 4 games. Dan Vladar has played 3 games. Vladar's numbers are better than Vejmelka's, but Vejmelka's maybe started the tougher games. Is there any debate whatsoever where you would go in net, whether it be Vejmelka, Utah's goalie, who played a ton this year, or Dan Vladar, who's the backup largely in Calgary?
I mean, it's a toss-up for me. I'm not too bothered either way because the way that they've been playing doesn't really, like, they're given confidence from their goalies no matter who's in net. They've only lost 1 game, that was to the U.S., so I think coming into this, it's not really, doesn't matter.
All right. Well, that's good confidence to have as a coach in your team. Okay, you're the coach of Czechia. I'm putting your coach's hat on. You did just coach at Boston University. So what are you telling your group in Czechia before this game against Sweden, in this atmosphere, in this building? What are you telling them to get ready for the game?
I mean, they had a great atmosphere in Denmark already, so they're already ready
But
for
they
the
haven't
crowd.
played against, not quite like this. Not like this building, wearing that sea of yellow. It is a different kind of beast. What would you say?
I feel like they're going to have a lot of Czechia fans, though.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, unless they bought up all the tickets already, but we'll see.
Right.
But I know that even we've had Latvian fans that have been insane, that have like taken over the Sea of Yellow. So if even half the Czechia fans show up, I think it'll be just a match, because when you look to last year, they had a sold-out crowd every single time. Like, they love their hockey in Czechia. So
Right. Yeah, they
I don't think
certainly
it'll
do.
be too big of a problem.
No, and there's a certain pleasure we get as athletes going into a visitor's rink that's loud, that's crazy, that may be a bit intimidating, shutting them up, playing well, and sending all those fans home disappointed. That there's something motivating and comforting in that as an athlete, the challenge of it. So I'm sure Czechia will try to embrace that attitude. I'm going to put you on the spot here real quick. I'm going to ask you one player on each team, maybe not a superstar, that maybe could have an impact that you watch out for this guy in this game. He could be a difference maker. I'm going to go on defense for Czechia. I'll do Czechia. You do Sweden.
Sounds
all right.
good.
I think Filip Hronek. Now, he's a very good player.
I love him.
He's a
He's
very
so
good
good
player. He plays with that first line an awful lot. He plays in the power play. He logs huge minutes. Big shot. For Czechia to win, they will have to be stable on their back end, especially when Sweden gets that cycle game going. Hronek will play a ton of minutes. I think if he has a good game, that'll go a long way in Czechia winning. What about Sweden for you?
Okay, I would want to pick the whole decor.
Okay.
I know that might be a little bit of a hot take, but their decor has been so phenomenal. Like, they start every single breakout. They play fast, they play physical, they shut them down, they keep them to the outside, they push them into the dead zone. And anytime they're in the zone, they're out once again. So if I could pick their decor, I'm picking their decor over Czechia's any day.
And they're not afraid to get involved in the offense. A ton of points have come and goals have come off the Swedish defender's stick. So not a bad call for you. All right, now we're really going to put you on the spot because it's prediction time. Puck drops approaching. What do you think is going to happen in this game? Who do you like in this one?
Can I say who I want to win and then
You can
who
do
I
both.
think will
Sure.
win?
Emotional hedge. We like those.
Okay, I think it would be very cool for Sweden to win. And if they do, maybe like a 3-2 game.
Okay.
Maybe closer to overtime. But I think Czechia is going to take this one.
Really?
I know that's a hot take, and that wouldn't be as good for the crowd, but
Wow. Not catering
We'll
to the home
take Czechia.
fans. Why?
I just think that they can score more. They can score better goals. They can get in there. They're going to be way more nitty-gritty. They're going to be willing to throw the body. I know it's going to be a physical game on both sides, but I think Czechia has the ability to do so.
Well, I'm going to cater to the home crowd. I think Sweden's going to take it. I think Sweden at home in this building. In some ways, now the opponent is way tougher. But maybe in some ways, the loss to Canada is a good thing. A little bit of adversity, a bit of a reset. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. I think the addition of Nylander could be a seismic change in their lineup. And Lucas Raymond, also a big-time clutch player for them. So I think Sweden will have a very good chance to ride the home wave and get the win. But regardless, I think we both agree it's going to be close.
Yes.
It's going to be a tight. Would not surprise anyone if this game goes to overtime. So can't wait to get you out there for Puck Drop on this great quarterfinal matchup. Watch all the action on IIHF TV. We'll be back after the first intermission to break it all down and set up the second.
Mod, gå hela vägen, fullfölj din tackling, ta spelare som finns där ute och en jävla swag tillsammans. Nu jävlar kör vi. Kom igen boys, kvartsfinal, hemmaplan. Vi har Wild Bill.